What a fantastic panel. Hi everyone, I'm Cheyenne Bardos. I'm the Communications Advisor at the Committee for Sydney. And as a young person, it's been so inspiring to hear all these ideas and actions on how we can make Sydney a better city for future generations. I'm thrilled to introduce the next two big ideas that could help make this happen. Now, we got a record number of entries to present a big idea for Sydney this year. The quality of the submissions was outstanding, and it was a challenge to select just four. But many of the ideas resonate with the work of the committee. So while you may not hear all of them on stage today, watch this space as they may be included in our future events. Now, we've already heard two big ideas from Ellis Blakey and Christian Gabsett. Next, we have Colin Finn, Director of Blue Green and researcher at the University of Sydney, presenting his vision to rewild Rushcutters Bay and what that could look like and mean for the future. Closing out our big ideas is Dr. Jennifer L. Kent from the Sydney School of Architecture, Design and Planning at the University of Sydney on why it's time to finally let the dogs out on public transport. Please welcome to the stage Colin and Jennifer. Thank you.
I'm here today to talk to you about a coastal city and a crisis it's going to face in the next 30 years, and how that crisis gives us an opportunity to make Sydney healthier, happier, and more connected if we're able to act proactively. I'm going to tell you a story about the past and the future of Rushcutters Bay, one of our most beloved and contested and threatened bays of Sydney Harbour. It's known in equal measure for the start of the Sydney-Hobart race and its canal that smells like rotten eggs. Rushcutters typifies the challenges of the harbor, from legacy pollution to areas the public has been fenced out from. But more importantly, it's going to be transformed by climate change. By 2050, the majority of the park will be impacted by sea level rise and extreme flooding. By 2100, it's going to be gone. And cities have a predictable response to urban flooding: great big gray concrete walls. And this is the likely future for Rushcutters: build the seawalls higher, cutting us off from the sea. But not only is this solution ugly, it's horrifically expensive. The cost to armor coastal New South Wales is estimated at $100 billion. And that's $100 billion that's going to need to come from you and me, the Australian taxpayer. And we have a different vision, though. We know that we can protect Sydney with a wall of green, with mangroves and oysters and wetlands, doing the same work as those gray concrete walls, with fringing parklands using the stormwaters to cool our cities, rather than sweeping it away in concrete canals. And this is blue-green infrastructure, using nature as technology to build living defenses around our cities. Nature-based solutions like these are growing globally as a low-cost alternative to dehumanizing gray infrastructure. And our global sister cities are deploying these solutions at scale, like the Billion Oyster Project, which is building a living breakwater around Manhattan, or the floodable parklands of the Copenhagen Cloudburst Strategy, or the sponge cities of China. So why aren't we doing this already? In my research at the University of Sydney, I've discovered that the real challenge is one of vision. We can't do it if we can't dream it. And if we can reimagine this, the most complicated and conflicted bay of Sydney Harbour, we can reimagine them all. And the beginning of understanding this story starts with a lost story of the last Gadigal settlement in Sydney, a place of life and celebration for millennia. And the connection to the lands and waters the Gadigal held shows us a path to a better, more harmonious relationship with nature. The Gadigal understood nature holistically, but today, control of the harbor is fragmented over a vast range of government land managers, none of whom have a mandate for blue-green infrastructure or to heal country. There's no one to ask. So we're not going to ask. We're going to dive right in and create a shared vision, a concept master plan of a healthier, climate-adapted Rushcutters Bay. And knowing the power of vision, we're creating digital tools to allow the community to co-create this vision with us. What if a fringing oyster reef protected the park and the adjacent property? What if we renaturalize the canal? What if we elevate the dog park to act as a big sponge to absorb floodwaters? What if a floating wetland boardwalk allows us to walk, run, and play while protecting our city? But these kind of things are hard to envision and hard to imagine. So that's why we're creating a video game, to allow the general public to understand the benefits, the costs, and the trade-offs, to design their own perfect Rushcutters Bay. But it's much more than a video game. Under the hood, it's a powerful parametric modeling tool to allow Sydney's leading urban designers and landscape architects to collate the community's vision into a coherent master plan, and at the same time, using process automation, create the business case. And this is the really radical part. If we build this properly, if we capture even just a small fragment of the social, economic, and environmental co-benefits, we can build a plan which is self-funding. More than self-funding, we can design a park which is revenue positive for the state of New South Wales. Using low-cost implementation solutions like floating wetlands, we can create no-regret solutions which begin with immediate action, creating initiative and proving that change is possible. And then what? Well, then we scale up. When I said if we could do it in Rushcutters, we could do it anywhere, I wasn't speaking metaphorically. The same methods, tools, and templates can be deployed in at least 20 sites around the city. And there's no shortage of need. If we can craft self-funding rewilding initiatives in the affluent Eastern Harbour City, we create capacity and a sense of progress and even revenue streams to allow the state of New South Wales to deploy blue-screen infrastructure all throughout New South Wales. In the next 30 years, the narrow strip of land between our harbour and our city will be radically transformed. Let's choose to act before the crisis and the grey walls will force on us. Let's choose a blue-green future. Thank you.